Okay, we are live. All right, welcome to this is 43. This is episode 43 of Ask Me Anything. This is what I do. I actually go live every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Malaysia time, like what we're actually having here, to answer your questions about Facebook ads. So remember, let me put this up front. There are still people commenting and complaining that I don't reply to your message inside the Facebook group, or I don't reply to the message or to so-called your comment on YouTube. To be very frank, I won't be able to do that anymore. So if you leave any comments or ask any questions or anything that you need my attention, especially if you ask questions, I actually answer your questions live in sessions like this. So if you ask question, remember to come back to the Sunday Ask Me Anything night show like this, to actually wait for me to answer your question. Usually if you ask last week, then I'll be answering them today. And if you ask next week, then I'll be answering them on the following Sunday. That's how the whole thing works. So don't expect me to reply to your comment. I can't because we have a kind of like a growing channel on YouTube. So I won't be able to attend to all the questions or all the comments that you have, right? So, but that's what we do, right? If this is the first time you see me, and thank you so much for tuning in. Even if you're watching the replay, I'm Jason. I've been helping brands, make big and small navigating success on Facebook advertising since 2010. So in the past 11 years, I work with over 5,000 over individuals from 27 countries now to really help them understand how to make the most out of Facebook advertising. So a bit of a credential side. I'm a Facebook certified professional, which means, all the things that I'll be sharing with you here or in my trainings and all that are actually certified by Facebook. And in order to stay certified, we need to go through exams every year. So that's something that I'm gonna do in the coming few weeks time because it's expiring. It's soon. It's due soon. Then we have to sit the exam again to be certified for another year. All right, and I'm also a Facebook preferred marketing partner, just in case you care. See, there's some people was coming to my training and asking, who are you? Why should I listen to you? I totally understand that. I'm just gonna tell you why you should pay attention. But nonetheless, the moment you go through the training, or you go through the sharing session, whether you're listening to some real deal or not. You can make your own decision right away, right? So, all right, so that's what we do. If you have any questions, if you're watching the live over here, if you have any questions regarding Facebook ads, type them away in the comment. Even if you're watching the replay, type your questions as well, because that's how we do. That's how I get questions from you and I answer them in sessions like this. All right, let's see who's here. We have somebody who's actually here. If you're watching this, right? Hey, CK, what's up? CK, thanks for joining us. Now, I'm just going to quickly go through some of the questions. And if you have any questions at all, leave them in a comment, okay? So I'm just going to bring up the screen because I actually captured some of them over on the, on the slide over here. Okay, so here you go. Now, before I roll, I just want to quickly update you about my coming free training on Tuesday night. Now, for the past how long I forgot already. For the past few weeks, actually, I've been doing free live training inside this Facebook group, as well as probably sometimes I will go to other places to run my free training. The idea here is very simple. All right, the reason why I conducted so many free training, but if you actually go through all the replay, these are although free training, these are very powerful trainings if you look at it, right? Because I share important things that you need to know in order to get your Facebook advertising journey right. Like last week, we talked about Facebook ads mistakes that you must avoid at all costs. So if you missed it, you have to actually go back to that. Like coming week, we're gonna run this topic because I actually decide my topic as we go. I actually listen and look closely on what are the questions that people are asking and all that, and then I would actually turn it into a free training. So this is gonna be a 1-hour training, okay? This is especially for those who are totally new to Facebook advertising, or if you have been advertising for a while and you are not sure whether you have done it right or wrong. This training is for you because I'm going to tell you 5 things that you really need to get right if you want to really start right for on your Facebook advertising journey. So this is something that you want to mark your calendar, and all you need to do is very simple. We're going to go live inside this Facebook group. if you are watching this on YouTube, then you have to go to Facebook and look for Facebook Ads Transformation Group and join that group. And we will be running the training inside the Facebook group live. I want you to join me live. Why? Because that's the chance that you can ask questions and we can actually have more interactive sessions so that I can get to understand more about you, your challenges, and how can I actually give you some advice based on whatever that you're facing right now, right? So this is going to happen on the 21st of September at 9 p.m. But if you have missed all the previous training, you didn't miss a thing. All you need to do is go back to my YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and look for Jason Gan. And I've already compiled all of the free training on my channel. You just need to go in and scroll down a little, then you will see all the free trainings line up. Then you can actually binge watch them or whatever you want to call that. It's cool. You know, people love my free training. And, you know, like I always like to tell people, although it's free, I pack awesome value for you guys, you know. So that's what's going to happen on the 21st of September. We have a very eventful week. You know why? Because after the Tuesday live training, I have a major training coming up, which is what we call the Evergreen Campaign. Now, currently we have close to about 300 people signing up from, I think, rough calculation, I think we have people coming from about 10 countries right now. You know, close to 300 of you have signed up, but if you have not, I urge you to go to this link. This is a 2-day live training. Okay, this is a 2-day live training where I'll be breaking down to you what are the things that you need to really do right or wrong, you know, in order to build your Evergreen Campaign. The idea about Evergreen Campaign is very simple. Okay, I will be actually dissecting, I'll be showing you a few case studies. Like, for example, one of my coachees has a 19 months and running campaign right now, which means for the past 19 months, okay, that he has not changed the creative, he has not changed the audience targeting, exactly the same campaign structure as he started 19 months ago until now. It is still running at the perfect momentum, getting them the optimum result. Now, the reason why I want to actually advocate this kind of campaign, I've been advocating this for the past few years now. The reason why I want you to start considering having an Evergreen Campaign is this would actually frees you from the constant chase of needing to come up with the next best audience targeting combinations, or the next best creative, or the next best video, the next best copywriting formula. How many of you have been chasing this next shiny object for the longest time? It actually makes you feel restless. You are always in the constant chase for the next best campaign, so-called, you know, as per your definition. But in my opinion, these are all in a way can be a waste of energy and time and resources, and even, you know, you might be losing a lot of money if you constantly chase for that. I want you to understand, at least, I'm not asking you to, you know, immediately just adopt whatever you'll be learning from this 2-day live free training. But nonetheless, I want you to open up yourself, you know, to actually understand what is the key concept behind this so-called framework that I'll be sharing with you, and at least understand, and you can decide later on whether you want to adopt the framework or not. But nonetheless, this is a very powerful framework that I've been using for my coaches and clients alike. We have actually, you know, I think we have actually spent tens of millions in US dollars in ad spend using this framework in the past few years' time. It's a very powerful framework. It's a proven framework. I want to teach you this thing. So the Evergreen Campaign happens on the weekend, the 25th and 26th of September, which is going to be like the coming Saturday and Sunday. It happens at 3 p.m. in Malaysia time. So it's a free training, 2 days free training. I want you to join and forward this link to your friend and all that, you know, just get them to come aboard. This is something that you don't want to miss. Okay, so that's what we have over here. And remember, if you have any questions, I'm not looking at the comment right now, I won't be able to. But nonetheless, if you have anything, type in the comment. I'll be actually going through them as we finish this side of it. Now, for the past 1 week, I received a lot of questions regarding account disabled, you know, like ads being disabled and all this kind of thing. I think Facebook is at it again. All you need to do is really to follow. But nonetheless, I have a few of them. So I probably want to go through a little bit. So first thing first, we have Black Ghost from Egypt. You know, I think I actually really comment correctly. So he said that his country is Egypt. The ad account got restricted, literally no reason. It actually happens all the time because, okay, this is what I understand. I think Facebook is trying to legitimate, especially Facebook advertisers, what actually the whole world is trying to do, whether they're actually doing it openly or quietly or underground or using different tricks like Facebook is doing right now. I believe they are trying to validate every single profile. Especially if you're a Facebook advertiser, they want to know you're a real person. That's why, in fact, for the past few years, they have been disabling anyone's Facebook ads account or whatnot just to get you to submit your ID. Because by doing so, it validates your profile. Because definitely they will be able to attach it, you know, and link it to a real ID. Now they know that you're a real person. So for the problem about this thing is, I think what Black Ghost is facing is the profile name was written in English, but the ID was written in Arabic. Okay, now, and then you say that you can't even change the method of confirmation, apply passport ID and all that. What you can do, there are a few things, yeah, Black Ghost, let me point you to the thing. Now, if you are not able to change the method, first thing you can do is, let's wait a few days, okay? Let's wait a few days, and then you come back again. The button to submit ID may become available again. So that's the first thing you can consider doing. Wait a bit, be patient. Sometimes we just need to like take a step back and cool down and look at this thing again and see how it works, right? Wait a few days, and then it might be open up again. Then you will be able to submit your ID, your like a passport. Now, what we learned from Black Ghost here is if you're actually watching this and you have submitted your ID in different foreign language that Facebook may not be able to understand, I would say what you can consider doing here is you can actually try to at least use passport or your driving license, or try to use anything in English so that they can understand that, right? Now, that's the first method. You wait a few days and then you try to come back and see whether the button will become available again, which you can then submit another document. Now, the second method is you try to get a way to chat with the Facebook representative. Now, for all of us who have a quite matured Facebook business manager and ads account, we have the ability to actually start a message conversation, like messenger conversation with some, you know, Facebook concierge service, which is something that they actually do in order to provide some, you know, at least customer service. Now, every time you talk to them, they will raise a ticket, which in turn, they have to resolve the problem that you're having. So that's one way. Now, if you are not able to get that, then yeah, I think that we have to wait, because to be very frank, Facebook is not helping a lot of Facebook advertisers out there in terms of, you know, getting your account back. But nonetheless, that's what we learned from this one. Black Ghost, I hope I give you some angle to look at your problem to see whether you can actually get it resolved. But if you do, then let me know, right? So that's the first question coming from Black Ghost. Now, the second question coming from Jessan. Jessan is asking whether are we able to track purchases from Lazada, Shopee in Ads Manager with CPAS? Now, that's a very good question. Now, for those who are new to this thing, if you're selling on Shopee or Lazada, okay, now the biggest challenge when you are having a new store without a CPAS access is you won't be able to retarget people who visited. Now, with CPAS, which in the long terminology is called the catalog platform advertising solution, something like that, or we call it the collaborative ads. Oh no, collaborative platform advertising solution. Now, this is uniquely for Shopee sellers and Lazada sellers. So what's going to happen if you have CPAS is Shopee, like for example, will create a catalog based on all the products that you have in your Shopee store, and then link that catalog to your Facebook ad account, which in turn, you'll be able to run ads to retarget people who have visited your store but did not purchase, or even to target people who have purchased in the past many days and all that, you know. In fact, what we received, I actually got, I was actually speaking in Wing's group yesterday, Wing Hon, if you know them. Now, what I heard from him is now apparently Shopee is open up for more people to apply for CPAS access. So if you want to find out how, I do not know, you should go to, you know, Wing's group. Okay, and if you're not sure which one to go, it's called Kaki Shopee. All you need to do is to go Facebook and look for this Kaki Shopee Facebook group and join that. I think Wing is giving a few information, quite some information about how you can actually apply for the CPAS access. So that's where you can actually go there. Now, when you have CPAS, you're able to run retargeting advertisement effectively, in a way, more effectively. Now, the question here Jessan is having here is how do you track purchases? Now, I'm quickly going into you know, an ad account with Shopee. This is my coaches. I purposely choose a campaign that has no data so that you won't know what's happening. Now, nonetheless, right, what you can do in order to actually find out what are the, metrics for each one is like you click, you saw I click, right? You just follow the thing, and then you go into customize column, and you'll be able to do a search. So very simple, type shed. So the moment you type shed, then you have all these metrics included: items, add to cart shed, content view shed, purchase ROS shed. These are all the metrics that is linked to your CPass account. So the moment you pull all these out, then you'll be able to track how many added to cart, responding to your CPass campaign, how many purchase and all that. So that's how you do that. All right, Jason, I hope I answer your question. Just a quick one, but nonetheless, CPass is quite powerful. If you want to learn how to run Shopee ads for CPass, I have a course which is called Facebook Ads for Shopee. That's a course that has been attended by I think close to 1,000 people from all around the world. Right now, it's a very powerful Facebook Ads for Shopee training. Enroll to that. All you need to do is go to my website and look for the course inside my courses. You should be able to find it there. So yeah, Jason, and let's go to the next. Okay, now Simon is asking a very interesting question. So Simon is asking, which one would I prefer? Okay, first option is to run a 5K budget for 3 weeks, or run a 5K budget for 6 weeks. So his question is, you doubt both will give similar result, any impact on the lead gen? So lead gen, first thing first. Second thing is, okay, you're giving me two choices. Now, you know what? I would say both are actually a valid route that you can actually choose. But we will look at it from a few angles. But first thing first, I would agree to you that when you run 5K for 3 weeks and versus 5K for 6 weeks, you are very, very unlikely to get the same result, okay, or similar result. You will see a different outcome. Why? Let me give you some example. First thing first, there are a few angles to look at, right? First thing first, we will look at how big is your audience. So if your audience is relatively moderate, not so big, and you're spending 5,000 for 3 weeks, that actually makes it a very intensive daily budget. So when you have a very high daily budget, you might actually not be able to reach more people, because theoretically, when you're running ads on Facebook, in my opinion, this is agree to disagree. I think the first thing we want to achieve is we want to reach more people. Then, because the moment we reach more people, we have the possibility to get more result. But the moment you spend too much budget on a daily basis on certain campaign, and when your audience size is relatively smaller, you are not able to reach more people, and in turn, you will actually push the frequency to come up, which defeats the purpose. So that when the frequency come up, what does it mean? You're actually repeating, in showing your ads to certain audiences, and in fact, that may or may not get you better result. It depends. Like I said, it depends. We have to monitor. That's why when we run this kind of campaign, we will actually have to monitor from different angle. So like I mentioned, first thing first, you want to look at how big is your audience size. Now, if your audience size is relatively smaller, I would actually go for the 6 weeks option. Now, of course, if your audience size is big, then even if you go for 5 weeks also, I think the next thing you want to monitor is your frequency. So yeah, it's a very open-ended question, but Simon, I know where you're coming from. Yeah, so we would not be able to predict the outcome when it comes to like the number of leads that we are able to generate. But nonetheless, we will be able to actually judge, or actually at least we make some judgment before we jump right into the campaign, at least from these two angles. I hope I help you. All right, Simon, thank you so much for the question. Now I want to go to another one, which is also about account restricted. Oh my God, I think it's a bad week for a lot of people out there. So this is a very interesting scenario. All right, WTF. Okay, WTF, what the fact? Okay, anyway, so you say you created an ad. Okay, you created an ad on your main Facebook account. The ad was disapproved due to privacy, and then you submitted for review. You got approved, and you create then what? Then you see an ad got restricted. Apparently, it should be a new ad account. That's why you have some issue with that. And then you created a new ad account. And then you got 2 account restricted apparently. You got 2 account restricted apparently, and okay. Right, okay, now you're saying that you are not able to actually click the button to confirm your identity. So I think it's the same thing. I would say first thing, you can actually wait for a little while, wait for a few days to see whether this button will become available. And when it's available, then try to submit something in English. Okay, so that's what we learned from some of the previous question earlier. But the question really that you're trying to ask here is, can you get your fund back? Now, in this case, apparently you're using a personal ad account, which the payment method that you're using is you are using the prepaid payment method, which means you submit your money in there, then you spend from there. Now, based on what I understand, now this is a disclaimer over here because I've not been using a personal ad account for a long time, and I don't prefer to use this kind of prepaid payment method, which the last time I used it was probably about 5-6 years ago. But based on what I understand among my students, the money you put in, you won't be able to take it out. I don't think so. So I think in order to, because you have money in there, all you need to do is really you try to get your account back. So here's another side note over here. If you run ads on Facebook, what I'm actually trying to advocate here is let's try not to do something funny, because it's your ad account, you got to protect it, right? And Facebook is only getting stricter and stricter when it comes to all these implementation policy and all these things, because they want to make sure that the ads appearing on Facebook platform and Instagram platform are, relevant, and they want to make sure that the advertisers are being vetted or verified. So let's try to play by the rules, okay? But I hope I answered your question, WT Fact. Yeah, I don't think you can get your money back. I don't think so, right? So yeah, hopefully. Now let's move to the last one that we have capturing from the last one. Okay, now this is a very, I received, to be very frank, I'm not bringing this question up to shame you. I don't mean that. But I really want to actually speak for myself, right? So look, first thing first, BD Market was saying why I make a video if I don't have the solution or I don't want to share it. Now, two things to talk about. First thing first, if you watch the video towards the end of it, I did give you some recommendations on what you can do. Second thing is, if you know Jason Gunn long enough, you know Jason Gunn share everything I can in different ways. And all my videos in my YouTube channel are really solving problems, 500 over of them. If I really want to keep something to myself, I won't be making so many videos, my friend. I hope that makes sense, right? But nonetheless, there are no one rule or one method to solve the personal identity or account disabled problem. In fact, I receive a lot of these nasty comments coming in, especially on those videos that I talk about when your ad account restricted and all this kind of thing, right? So, give me a bit of time to speak for myself, to defend a little bit. So here is what you do, right? Like I mentioned, if you have a disabled ad account or disabled profile, I think usually the first thing they will ask you to do is to verify your ID by submitting your ID document. So try to submit something more, like we learned from earlier question, is don't use something in foreign language that Facebook may not understand. Try to use something in English. Like usually passport works. Passports are usually in English, all right? And at least there are certain English element in there. And of course, if you have, you can also submit multiple documents. Like for example, if you have submitted your identity card and they rejected you, wait a few days, then you should be able to submit again. Like next time you probably can submit your driving license or something like that. So that's one thing. And second thing is, you can try to reach out to Facebook chat, the concierge service, to see whether you're able to talk to any one of them. So that's how you can try to navigate your way around. But nonetheless, like I mentioned, not that I don't want to share it, there is no one method that can solve all the problems out there. Because different people to be very frank, I still have a lot of students until today, they are not able to open up their Facebook profile. The profile level got restricted, my friend. It's that bad. So I won't be able to solve all this. I'm just sharing with you things that I know. I hope that help you. All right, BD Market, thank you so much for, even though it's a bit, angry, but I totally understand because you have your frustration. All right, so I'm just going to bring this down a little bit. I have a few questions over here. So we have Chiwai. What's up, Chiwai? Okay, so Chiwai was asking, you were told by your account manager that Facebook will be rolling out new changes. Objective will be consolidated into only several. The optimization will be deeper inside the campaign setting itself instead of the beginning. They'll be rolling out in phases. What are your thoughts on this new rollout? Don't worry. Whenever there are certain rollout, it won't be actually running too far from whatever that we are seeing right now. Consolidating doesn't mean that they are throwing things away. You see, unless they already give you what is going to happen, then you will just see whatever. But nonetheless, to be very frank, if you know me, right, like a lot of times, long time ago, when it comes to the ABO, CBO thing, I don't care. I just wait and see, because to be very frank, fundamentally, what changed? Nothing. And then 14.5 update came in, and everybody was kind of like, oh, havoc, panic call, and all this kind of thing. What did you see on me? I just chill, right? Because whatever it is, all the changes will be implemented anyway. So on our side, we can only adopt. So since you can't do anything, all right, so I mean, we just wait for that to happen, and we make our adjustment along the way. I'm not worried, to be very frank. I heard about that. In there are certain gurus out there already making like a lot of so-called predictions and all that. But I say, look, I haven't seen anything yet. How can I make prediction? But this is what I say. This is what I say. Wait for it to happen. I don't think it's going to be a huge impact that's going to wipe things away. Right? I've been standing like this for 11 years now, experiencing all the changes. I'm still here. And I believe Facebook will only make things better and better. So I don't think I'm worried. Chiwai? All right. What you're saying, Sabo, you again with new algo change. I actually don't quite agree with so-called algo change, but nonetheless, if you believe in me, then we just chill, wait for things to happen. I don't think it's going to be bad. Okay. Cecilia has a question. So, okay, what if you don't have CPass? Is catalog sales a good campaign objective for your Shopee store? What about traffic? Okay, that's a very good question, Cecilia. If you don't have CPass, then you can't use catalog objective, because technically you don't have a catalog. You don't have CPass for your Shopee store, you don't have a catalog. Only CPass, advertisers with CPass has a catalog. So yes, you're right. The better option for you is actually traffic. But nonetheless, we have a framework, because when you go for traffic, you know the challenge, all right? When you go for traffic, if you drive traffic from Facebook ads to your Shopee store, technically you lose them the moment they go over. You don't even know whether they really land on your Shopee store, and you actually lose them. You won't be able to retarget them. You won't be able to do a lot of the number or the validation. So we have a framework for those even without a CPass access. You can still run meaningful Facebook ads for your Shopee store. So I encourage you to actually check out my Facebook ads for Shopee store. That's a course where I teach you using my two-step funnel framework how to build so-called a campaign that is able to allow you to do retargeting even though you don't have CPass for your Shopee store. So that's the course that I want you to check out, Cecilia. But yes, you're right. Catalog is not for you. Go for traffic objective, but you have to do it in the right way. So check out my course. Okay, Cecilia, thank you for your question. And we have Melvin here. So Melvin is asking how to track purchase if the payment gateway is linked to iPay88. That one is really something that you have to work out on your payment system. So you see, even though your payment gateway is iPay88 or whatever out there, right? Eventually, when the payment is completed, you still be able to come back to your website, which is there will be a thank you page. So usually a purchase is being tracked when the thank you page is being triggered. That's how we do. But nonetheless, right, different so-called e-commerce website platform or e-commerce platform will have a different way of implementing the pixel. So I do not know what system that you're using. Like I'm using WordPress. It works like a breeze for me. And a lot of my friends who are using Shopify are doing very simple. I mean, they're actually kind of like make it a lot simpler to set up. So Melvin, that's how you purchase, how you track a purchase, usually by landing on a thank you page. So all you need to do if you want to do it manually is you have to insert your pixel in your thank you and you have to label it as a purchase. So that should be able to get the data. Right, Melvin? Check out with your developer. I think that's a better way to do this. Okay, then let's see. We have okay, that's Chiwai. That's Melvin, and we have this is from Samuel. Samuel is asking, is using Facebook Pixel Conversion API? Is using Facebook Pixel Conversion API is necessary? Help me with this question. Are you saying that is Facebook Pixel or Conversion API necessary, or is Facebook or Okay, let me try. If you're asking if are all these important, I would say if you're running ads on Facebook and if you're driving people to your website, either Facebook Pixel or Conversion API, they are necessary. because it will actually help you to track and to measure your campaign performance. Now, if the question is coming from another angle, which is if you already have Pixel installed, is conversion API necessary? It's a different structure of sentence, right? I would say conversion API is a backup when Facebook Pixel is not working properly. So sometimes there may be some misfiring or misconfiguration here and there or something like that. So, but nonetheless, these two are the same thing technically. It's just that they are implemented at different level. Facebook Pixel is implemented on the website level, which is at the HTML level. Now the conversion API is installed in your server level. So technically, like for my case, I have both. All right, but if you can, I mean, why not just put both? It doesn't hurt you a bit, not a bit. So just do whatever you want. Okay, but thanks for the question. Nonetheless, I just want to do a quick shout out. Remember we are having this, start Facebook ads right free training coming out on Tuesday. If you are starting out on Facebook advertising, this is the class that you do really have to attend. So invite all your friends who are new to Facebook ads into this group. Share it to your friends, invite them to this group. We will actually bring everyone in and tell them to come and join us live on Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Okay, so that's the first one that's happening next week. And the next one would be, I'm going to have my 2-day live training happening on the coming Saturday and Sunday. The coming Saturday and Sunday, which I call the Evergreen Campaign. Now, the Evergreen Campaign is a very powerful method that I use, or my coachee use, to build Facebook ads campaign for long-term success. So if you want to go for the long-term thing, then you have to join this thing. So this is also a free training. So invite your friends or whatnot to just come over, because it's going to be fun. For the moment, I think we have close to 300 people signing up from more than 10 countries right now. It's fun. It's going to be like a very awesome hangout, right? So just join. Just invite your friends, send them this link and just join. All right, so let's do that. Okay, so that's what I have. Wait, before I go, there's one more question. Let me see. So this is from Wu. Wu is asking, you have 2 ads running in the same ad set. How to ensure the audience does not overlap? You can. Yeah, because technically one ad set, 2 ads, they will be potentially seeing both ads. Unless you have exclusion, either they have seen ad A, it will, Chiwai. Like Chiwai is saying, the 2 ads under the same ad set will not overlap. They will. They might be seeing 2 ads, because unless you do your exclusion right. So let's say ad 1 is a video, ad 2 is a video. So you can actually say that if you have watched A1, ad 1, up to 20%, you won't be able to see. But it's a very tricky thing. Yeah. It's a very tricky thing. Unless you are really a master in custom audience like me or Chiwai. Else, it's kind of tricky. So you can, but not very effective. That's why, yeah. Anyway, so that's how I think. All right, Wu. Now, the other one is coming from also Samuel. So what's the recommended Facebook conversion API integration partner you use to link to WordPress? Oh, I'm not using whatever integration partner for my conversion API. I actually do my manual insertion because I have a developer. So I do it manually. So I can't give you recommendation on this one, the integration partner. If you're talking about plug-in certain thing, right? No, I don't have recommendation. But Pixel is very simple, right? You just do thousands of Pixel plug-in for Facebook, for WordPress. So that shouldn't be a problem. But conversion API, no, not necessarily. Okay, so yeah, that's all the questions that I have from you guys. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's fun, So yeah, I do this every Sunday night. So remember, if you ask questions on my Facebook group or my YouTube channel, do not expect me to reply in comment. Come back every Sunday night like this. So, to actually hear my answer to your questions. But nonetheless, thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next week or Tuesday. Yeah, we're going to have quite an eventful week coming up. So see you on Tuesday. Thanks. Bye. Good night.